Across the South Coast, live from Solent University, you're listening to Solent Sports News.
Good afternoon, it's 3 o'clock. I'm Nathan Rawlings and these are your Solent Sports News headlines. Southampton have another huge game at the bottom of the Premier League table tomorrow. They travel to Molineux to face winless Wolverhampton Wanderers. Saints only picked up their first 3 points of the season last week, but boss Russell Martin doesn't think that's a reason for his players to get comfortable.
I think it's just so obvious for the players. It's the Premier League. It's not easy, and we've won 2 games, one in the Cup, one in the League. We had a good performance at Man City, but we're still in a position we don't want to be. I think we work on us and the process we have, which is to try and improve, and we have lots to improve on. We have lots to be happy about over the last week, so we have to just keep striving for improving.
Elsewhere, some good news for young Southampton midfielder Tyler Dibbling. He's received his maiden England under-21s call-up after some excellent performances for the South Coast side. Ruud van Nistelrooy says he's concentrating on his final game as Manchester United interim boss and not what role he will play going forward. This follows a 2-0 victory over PAOK in the Europa League last night. Ruben Amorim takes over after the international break.
I think that Ruben, what he's saying, his focus is on Braga and I focus on Leicester. I think that's a great one for now, and that shows that we're focused on the day-by-day job and get the maximum out of the team.
Emergency measures are being implemented in Amsterdam after Israeli football supporters were attacked in the Dutch capital. There have been more than 60 arrests following what police have described as anti-Semitic behaviour. The Dutch Prime Minister, Dick Schoof, has strongly condemned what happened.
This is anti-Semitic violence, and those are the words I choose very consciously. Against the background of the Israeli conflict with Palestine, that will undoubtedly play a role in it, but I actually do not think that is important at this time.
Moving down the football pyramid, and Eastleigh return to National League action tomorrow with the Spitfires hosting Braintree Town. Calvin Davis's men are currently on a run of 7 games without a win and sit 11th in the table, just 2 points off of a playoff spot. In women's football, Southampton return to St Mary's for a championship clash on Sunday. They host Durham, who sit just 2 points above them in the table. Midfielder Alice Griffiths think it will be a tight game.
I think it'll be a close game. They're doing really well, and hopefully we can put a bit of a good run together now on the back of that, off the back of the international break, and it being our home game as well. We want to make sure that St Mary's is a difficult place for people to come to, and we pick up points at home.
In cricket, Hampshire women's batter Maya Bouchier could make her England Test debut. She's been included in the England squad for their tour of South Africa. Meanwhile, England men host the West Indies in their first game of the International T20 series tonight. The West Indies will be without fast bowler Azari Joseph after he picked up a 2-match suspension for storming off the field in their last game. And the final race of the MotoGP season has been switched from Valencia to Barcelona due to the devastating floods in Spain. Spanish rider Jorge Martin leads the championship ahead of defending champ Francisco Bagnaia. Will Hewlett has more on the story. Will, what can you tell us?
Yeah, hi Nathan. As you said, Martin leads his Ducati rival Bagnaia by 24 points into the last race of the year. The previous race in Malaysia was one for the ages. The pair were dueling it out all race. Martin has never won the top class championship. His best finish was last year, finishing second, so he's ready to win that big one. There will be a sprint race first on Saturday, and Martin simply needs to finish ahead of Bagnaia to be crowned champion. I can't wait for the showdown.
And just another question from me, Will. How do you think Jorge Martin will deal with the pressure of it being his hometown race?
I think it's all in his favour. I think he loves the crowd, and it should be all good for him.
Well, thank you very much, Will, for joining me in the studio. Should be a good one. Moving on to tennis now, though, and British men's number 2 ranked Cameron Norrie has progressed to the Moselle Open semi-finals. He plays Frenchman Corentin Moutet this afternoon in France. This is only Norrie's 3rd ATP event after forearm injury in July. Rugby now, and Dublin awaits the latest instalment of the rivalry between Ireland and New Zealand tonight in the Autumn Nation Series. They were knocked out by the All Blacks in the quarter-final of last year's World Cup in France. But Ireland captain Caelan Doris insists tonight's match won't be about revenge.
I think every time we play them, there's a good rivalry, there's mutual respect, there's 2 good top sides going against each other. From last Monday when we first came together, it was about our progression, our evolution, getting better.
Luke Humphries will begin his defence of the darts Grand Slam title tomorrow. He'll face Roby John Rodriguez for his tournament opener in Wolverhampton. Joining me in the studio today, we have darts correspondent Jamie Oloshinsky for more. Jamie, what have you got for us?
Yes, thank you very much, Nathan. It's going to be a really interesting tournament. Luke Littler starts one of the first games on the Friday session. He is one of 8 Grand Slam debutants as he takes on Keane Barry. There's also the old heads as well, Michael van Gerwen, Gary Anderson and James Wade. All are making a record Grand Slam appearance of their 17th appearance. So the experience prevails there. It's also a battle of the European champions as Ross Smith takes on Richie Edhouse, and Edhouse is only 2 weeks off the back of his first ever major title victory. And also freshly announced father Stephen Bunting, he opens the tournament against Challenge Tour qualifier Wessel Nyman.
And Jamie, can you give us your quick predictions for the tournament? How do you think it's going to go?
In terms of quick predictions, you can't look past anybody but Luke Humphries. Not an easy group, but definitely a group that Luke Humphries would expect to win and go through, and then there's no man better on the long tournament format as Luke Humphries, so it's going to be that man again, I think, to retain his title.
Well, thank you very much for Jamie. Should be a good one to look forward to. To the NFL, and the Baltimore Ravens fought back late to beat the Cincinnati Bengals 35-34. They fought back from a 14-point deficit to take the win, with quarterback Lamar Jackson providing the winning pass just 2 minutes from time. The Ravens' 28 second-half points were the most scored by any team after the half-time break so far this season. Elsewhere in women's football, Tottenham travel to early Women's Super League leaders Manchester City this evening, chasing back-to-back top-flight wins. They've had a faltering start to the season, but can climb to 5th in the table with victory at the Etihad. Boss Robert Villaham says it's going to be an incredibly tough game.
If we have a great game and everything goes well, we have a big chance to win the game. If we don't have that, we're probably going to lose the game. So we need to go into this game with that mindset that we need to be perfect.
Moving on to netball, and Western Park Blades Netball Club have found a new home, and emotional head coach Jane Crabtree revealed how the move is a massive step.
First rate from start to finish. And I must admit, when I did walk in there, I did get a tear in my eye, thinking back to how the club started and how this is sort of launching it again. It's another massive step.
That's all from us. We'll be back at 4 o'clock with more headlines.